Day 38 Part 2. No. Day 39 of the Ewan McGregor-a-thon, and today I will be watching Nanny McPhee 2. And this film is either called Nanny McPhee Returns or Nanny McPhee 2 The Big Bang. There are various sources on that. Anyway, this is one of the films that I had seen before. A long time ago, and I do not remember anything except for a bomb. I think I've seen the first film more times than I've seen the second film. It's perfectly possible that I've only seen the second film once. But I remember quite liking the Nanny McPhee films. I didn't grow up with Mary Poppins or anything. I'd never seen those films before I saw Nanny McPhee. And now I realize Nanny McPhee is kind of a Mary Poppins ripoff. So yeah, I'm curious to see how much that will affect my opinion now. But to me, personally, Nanny McPhee is the real au pair. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to this. This film should come with some nostalgia. And nostalgia is always a fun feeling. So I will let you know what I thought of it after I've seen the film. I felt cheated. The last time since I was this disappointed was probably Being Human. I'd say, if you are going to do a Ewan McGregor-a-thon, but you're not planning on watching all his films, like absolutely every single one of them, definitely do skip this one. Because he doesn't appear in this film, like until the last minute. Literally the last minute he appears. He hugs some people, and then the credits roll. And like I said, last time I was this disappointed was with Being Human, where he also appeared for like 30 seconds or something. But I think Being Human was a little bit more of a disappointment, just because it was the first film, basically had just 2 lines, and in this film at least his character has some influence on the plot. And you might think, well, if you didn't like this film because of that, then why didn't you hate Alex Rider? Well, because at least Ewan McGregor had something to do in that film. He also had influence on the plot, and he did some pretty cool things right in front of his death. Except, of course, that wasn't Ewan McGregor, that was a stunt driver, but at least it's the same character. But in this film, he only appears for a minute at the very end. In a way, you could say the entire movie climaxes towards Ewan McGregor's appearance, but yeah, you could say that, but no. So that's everything I have to say about Ewan McGregor in this film, but there is still something to say about the film itself. It was nice. You ever see a film that you know you've seen already, but you don't remember anything from it, and then every single scene you're like, oh yeah, I remember that, right after you see it again? That was my experience with this film. I think I have seen it more than once in my childhood. I must have done, because I remembered way more from this film than I realized. And it's just a nice children's film, one of those films that I wouldn't have troubles with showing my kids if I ever have kids one day. It's funny for kids, there's enough action in it, and it has some morality in it, although perhaps the moral side of this film is like just about too on the nose. After every lesson Nanny McPhee taught the kids, she's like, lesson 3, be friendly toward each other is achieved, or something, and like a little bit more subtlety would have been appreciated, but I get it, it's like her thing. That's the way she works, I suppose. But subtlety in children's films comes a long way. Like, for example, Cars, not the most beloved animated children's film, but one of my personal favourite Pixar films. Well, it's more like mid-tier, but whatever. And in that film, the lesson is clearly, don't be vain, be nice, help other people, without spelling it out for the little kids. But that's okay, I didn't mind that much. Something I really liked about this film is Emma Thompson's performance as Nanny McPhee. I also like the gimmick that she loses ugly markers as the kids grow more and more kind, I suppose. You could argue that this film is ugly shaming a bit, but you could also argue that it's a nice example of don't judge a book by its cover. To me personally, it's more of a don't judge a book by its cover. Her transformation into a beautiful young woman instead of an old hag is more of a symbolic way. Perhaps the kids don't even see it, because no one really acknowledges it in the film. Perhaps in the first one, I don't know, it's been a long time since I've seen the first one, but no one really acknowledges her losing her moles or her unibrow or anything. Also something that I didn't realise as a kid, but now I'm older I am realising, is that her hair changes as well. As a kid I thought it was just part of her final big transformation, but now I noticed that it changes throughout the film. It changes gradually, and that's a nice touch. Also, there was this weird part at the end where Maggie Smith has like a rattler, and I'm guessing that's something from the first film, because I didn't recognize it and I didn't know what was going on. But I suppose it's like, oh, she's this baby from the first film who had this rattler, so now you see the baby has become an old person and Nanny McPhee has stayed the same age. Wow! But now the big question, is Nanny McPhee a Mary Poppins ripoff? Yes, but I don't mind. A ripoff is like an ugly word. Nanny McPhee is not plagiarism. It's different enough. And it's different in a whole bunch of ways. In fact, the only real similarities is that they are a stern nanny who use magic and talks to birds, if you call the umbrella a bird. Otherwise, totally different. And it's just for an entirely different audience. This is more slapstick funny, while Mary Poppins is more whimsical fun. So yeah. All in all, I'm going to give this film a 7 out of 10 because it was a nice, enjoyable children's film. And honestly, not all children's films need to be Pixar masterpieces. They can just be a little bit of brainless fun with a nice message in them. Join me tomorrow when I will be watching Jack Boots on Whitehall. So do join me for that, and I will see you tomorrow.